Hello everyone and welcome to Michael's Retro Game Reviews. Now, video games are a funny thing sometimes. We all have at least one game and gem we hold dear to our hearts, and for whatever reason it feels like that gem was only bought by you and played by you as well, and that you were the only person that enjoyed it. And this particular gem was released on a system that was lacking in games and starved of RPGs. So this week we are reviewing my gem, and that gem is Mystical Ninja Starring Gomon for the N64. So let's review this game. The N64 was a strange console that went against the gaming conventions at that time. It was clear that cartridges had had their day, but Nintendo didn't feel this way. It was a bold decision sticking with cartridges, but this decision would put off a lot of developers, and because of this the system ended up lacking a lot of games. So you'd think that Mystical Ninja Starring Gomon would have been more of a success on a system that didn't have mini games and was seriously lacking in killer RPGs. But for some reason this game was totally overlooked. Okay, let's begin the story. It's a typical day in Japan and Gomon and Ismararu are chased out of the shop, and strangely enough Ismararu is almost naked, which begs the question, what were they doing in that shop to begin with? But okay, that's not important because shortly after a spaceship flies over them, turns a nearby castle into a playhouse. Gomon, enraged by this, sets out on a quest to stop the Peach Mountain Shoguns from turning all Japan into a playhouse. And along for the ride is Gomon's best friend Ismararu, and later joined by Yae, a ninja secret agent, and Sasuke, a robot ninja. It's an unusual storyline, and it makes you wonder if something was lost in the translation, or maybe it was just a crazy storyline to begin with. And on the subject of storyline, the dialogue in this game is brilliant. Now I can't decide if it was badly or perfectly translated, and to be honest I don't care because it left me in stitches most of the time. And how many games out there make you laugh? Now for the graphics. As far as I'm concerned, the only two companies that were able to get impressive graphics out of the N64 was Rare and Nintendo themselves. So Konami deserves praise just for even making this game on the N64. And apart from some fogging, the odd stuttering frame rate, this is some pretty decent looking visuals. The locations, dungeons and towns are well imaginatively designed, good use of colours, and are distinctive from one another. The playable characters themselves look very good with a fair amount of character to them, which is not an easy thing to do in a video game. And something I must point out, wow, the bosses in this game are incredible, each looking larger than life, brilliantly made, and it kind of makes it a pleasure to fight them. Yes, I know I'm conflicted. So what is the best way to describe the gameplay in this game? Well, cross the platform elements of Mario with a little Zelda thrown in for good measure and you get the idea. Now I did say this game has platform elements of Mario 64, but in this game they're nowhere near as good, and most of the time it's just simple jumping from platform to platform. But even still it has that Mario 64 vibe to it, which is kind of weird but in a good way. I think the only thing less in the gameplay is the camera. You can clearly see this game is trying to position the camera right behind you, but a lot of the time all you have to do is just wait for the camera to move by itself, and hopefully it sends itself behind where you are, but unfortunately it doesn't do that a lot of the time. Something that would have helped would have been a camera control button or some kind of interface. But then again, how many games have this problem? Quite a few to be honest, and even to this day modern games are plagued with terrible camera systems. But if you think about it, this problem came about with the advent of 3D gaming. So my point is, yes, the camera system is bad. Not the worst I've seen with 3D gaming, and you should kind of expect this with these types of games. Okay, enough said about the camera and back to the gameplay. I did say this is an RPG, but this is more of an action RPG type game like Zelda. And how does the gameplay play? Well, the story should give you a good hint at what you're meant to be doing at any given point. Plus you can always ask the townsfolk, and I'm sure someone can throw you a bone, and if you get really stuck you can always visit Plasma Man, he will tell you what to do. So once you find out what you're meant to be doing, it most of the time involves visiting a dungeon. But sometimes you can't go to that dungeon, and that sets you up for a quest to find a new weapon or an ability, and once you have that, you're ready to go back to that dungeon. And on the subject of abilities, each of your 4 playable characters has multiple weapons and abilities, and some of their weapons doubles up to help you, let's say, freeze a flaming block you need to jump on, or Gomon's chain pipe can help you get across distances as long as you have a star block on the other side. Plus their abilities are useful too, like Ismararo's shrinking ability lets you get to places you wouldn't normally reach, or Yae with her mermaid turban ability. With all these weapons with double uses and abilities, you'll always find yourself changing characters on the fly so you can use them to progress further in the game. Now this is one of the things I like about this game. Brilliantly done, keeps it fresh and challenging at all times, which is something many games fail at doing. The music. I remember reading a review that said once you hear the tunes in this game, they would be forever burnt into your mind, and that's so true about this game. There's well over 60 tracks for this game, which is amazing considering the short lifespan of this game. There's something for everyone here, and as important as music is, without it I don't think this game would have been half as good or even memorable. And let's be honest, this game does have its problems, but for some reason music holds this game superbly together and gives it kind of a soul, and because of this I'm very attached to this game and have fond memories playing this game in my early teens. So my final thoughts. Well, this game is different than any other game on this system, but I think that's a good thing. And yes, it's not the most graphically impressive game on the system, but it's colourful, imaginative and filled with Japanese quirkiness. Plus, if you're looking for a game you can finish in, let's say, a few game sittings, look no further, you found your game for next weekend. So I give Mystical Ninja Starring Gomon for the N64 my thumb approval. I want to thank you for watching, and until next time, see you later.